Early on, the war was described as a proxy war. The Kremlin propaganda said that America is willing to fight till the last Ukrainian. I'm not sure how that's supposed to work in practice, but whatever. And in particular, Ukraine is apparently a proxy of the United States. Of course, what sensible people pointed out was that Ukraine is simply fighting for its life, fighting for its survival. In fact, it is being described as a proxy war now. For example, Vice President J.D. Vance has called it a proxy war. Aha! So it's true. Even the Americans are admitting it. So it is a proxy war. And Noam Chomsky chipped in on this too, saying that Ukraine's need for weapons is Western propaganda. Now this has been directly refuted by people who actually know what the fuck they're talking about. But it's also been refuted by people who don't really know what they're talking about. I mean, Zelensky has been portrayed as a beggar. Trump called him the greatest salesman because whenever he visits, he walks away with 100 billion. And of course, the claim isn't true. He didn't walk away with 100 billion every time because the US hasn't given Ukraine 350 billion or whatever number Trump is making up today. So whether it's true or not isn't the point. That's not what's important. The important is that the claim itself is being made. Because it's not compatible with being a pawn. If Ukraine is a proxy, if they are somehow being forced to fight, why would he need to go around asking for help? Okay, you could take a more conspiratorial point of view and say that he's only meant to look like he's not a pawn. So it's clever. It's some sort of theater. But now we have a different administration in the US, and they are taking Russia's side. So why does it still continue? I mean, Zelensky is still going around asking for help. And Trump has been openly hostile to Zelensky. So that's weird. So he's still doing it. He's still going around asking for help, even though Trump seems to not want him to. He doesn't seem to want to help him. And he's even tried to have him replaced. He said that he finds the Ukrainians difficult to deal with. But he's supposed to be your pawn, no? So whose pawn is he now? So while the US has made a U-turn, Ukraine has not. It's weird. Weird, isn't it? It's almost like they have their own interests, in their own will. It's almost like they have their own reasons to fight for their country, for their people. Trump told Zelensky that he doesn't have the cards. With the US, they do, but without, they don't. And he said that he thinks Zelensky is looking for an advantage, but he doesn't want to give them an advantage. But he doesn't have the cards for what? He's looking for an advantage. An advantage for what? This presupposes that he has some goals, that there is something he's trying to accomplish. And the US is in a position to help or not help. Help or not help with what? Well, reaching whatever the goals the Ukrainians have. Again, they have their own goals. And at the risk of putting words in their mouth, the goal is to survive. In fact, it now seems like America is trying to force them to stop defending themselves. And it's not working very well. It's not working because they never had to be told to defend themselves in the first place. Again, it's weird. It's almost like you don't have to force someone to have basic self-preservation instincts. Very surprising.